Much of that. Well, as GST ushers in, Shireen Bhan caught up with Chief Economic Advisor Arvind Subramanian. Here's what he had to say about the immediate impact of GST reform on our economy. Let's take a listen in.
What is going to happen on growth in the short run is going to be determined by two things, right? One, how quickly we can see through the GST challenges. Is it 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? We still don't know. We know there will be challenges. We know there will be glitches, and we'll have to work through them. So in the short run, that's certainly going to increase uncertainty and may have some impact on investment and consumption and growth. But I think that the growth outlook in the short and medium term will be determined by a lot more than just the GST. There are lots of things happening in the economy which we will describe in all their gory detail in the economic survey later this month. But the GST impact on growth will probably one relatively smaller element. So what's going to determine growth is what's happening on the broader macroeconomic front.
Since you're talking about the gory details that you expect to unveil in the economic survey, so let me pick up on the macro indicators and ask you about that. The previous economic survey did spend a lot of time talking about the precarious position that state governments find themselves when it comes to their financial health, their fiscal health. And I would expect that the indicators suggest that that is going to get even more precarious given the fact that you're now dealing with significant farm loan waivers as well. Also, you have the rollout of the GST, which could impact state finances also, even though the centre is going to compensate at least for the first 5 years. But take me through the implications of not just the GST, but other macro indicators when it comes to state finances.
Well, I think, as I said, the loan waiver, I think, is the agricultural loan waiver, which you're referring to, is actually much more complicated than it appears at first blush. The central government has made it clear that if state governments want to make some decisions, they have to be responsible for the consequences of those decisions. So if they don't have fiscal space, they will have to meet it from other resources or cut other expenditures. So, so in that sense, it's not obvious that state government finances will deteriorate or not. It's true that for some states that have this fiscal space, they may be able to to spend and borrow more. But for other states, there's a kind of hard ceiling fixed by the fiscal response legislation, which, as you know, the centre controls their borrowing. So how much even the direction on the finances is complicated. What the impact on aggregate demand and the economy is going to be is also actually more complicated than what anyone thinks. And I'm not going to give away the secrets at this stage on that.
Well, time for a break now. Up next, we will shift focus away from GST. Pidilite